right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power. I've got a couple of interesting stories for you guys today. The first story that I have for you guys today, Jujimufu announcing the next bodybuilding show that he intends on prepping for, the Olympia Amateur. So he was actually originally going to prep for the Arnold Classic Amateur this year when it was originally supposed to be held back in March of this year. But obviously the expo and the show for the Arnold Classic Ohio got canceled, and that included with it the Arnold Classic Amateur. So even though we're getting the Arnold Classic in September this year, there will be no expo. And to the best of my knowledge, there will be no Arnold Classic Amateur. Now, the Olympia Amateur, even better than the Arnold Classic Amateur. A big show for Jujimufu, and apparently his first ever bodybuilding show. So he says he weighs 245 pounds or 111 kgs as of this morning, and he's preparing for this show. I believe his goal is to eventually get a pro card. I believe that's kind of the reason why he's doing this. So best of luck to Jujimufu. I'm looking forward to seeing him step on stage, and I'm certainly looking forward to reporting on the results of that show. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below of Jujimufu's physique. Obviously, last year, or about a year ago, when he was talking about prepping for the Arnold Amateur, I think he was in a lot better condition than he is now, but he's still pretty far out from the Olympia Amateur, so I'm expecting to see that same conditioning again. But remember, like this time last year, well, not this time last year, but just a year ago in general, he looked insane from a conditioning standpoint, so I'm looking forward to seeing that again. Obviously, he's not there yet, but that's what I want to see from Juji on stage, is that crazy conditioning. If you can't win him over with structure, win him over with condition. Now, next up in the news, let's talk about a curl story here, a Larry Wheels curl story. It's been a while since we've said that, but it's not a strict curl this time. It's a cheat curl. Larry Wheels cheat curling 225 pounds on a straight barbell, not a curl bar. So a lot of people were sending this to me, accusing Larry of fake weights after the last thing, where he was pressing those two barbells, one in each hand. I don't think it's fake. I think this is absolutely real. That's my opinion on it. I think it's legitimately 225 pounds. Again, he's not using strict form here. You guys would be surprised what you would be able to do if you're an experienced curler cheat curling. 225 pounds, you can do it if you put your back into it. So shout out to Larry Wheels, and hopefully sometime soon we'll see some more strict curl stories and strict curl videos from Larry. I want to see him go for the record again. Even though he tore his bicep last time around, it looks like he's still got a pretty significant amount of power in those arms when it comes to the curl. But yeah, I would certainly like to see Larry start getting after the strict curl again, just based on what we're seeing here. Now, next up in the news, the Arnold Classic. So we recently got some clarification on the Arnold Classic that still confused some people. So basically, earlier this week, we found out that the Arnold Classic was going to be a qualifier for the 2021 Mr. Olympia. Prior to that, the Arnold Classic fell outside of the deadline for an Olympia qualifier. So the fact that it was at the end of September, the qualification deadline was early September. So the Arnold fell outside of that, meaning the whole thing would be a qualifier for 2022. Now, recently it was announced that it would be a qualifier for 2021, but the IFBB and the people at the Arnold clarified this time that only the winner of the Arnold Classic will qualify for the 2021 Mr. Olympia. Everybody else in men's open bodybuilding will qualify for 2022, and every other division, all three other divisions, even the winners of those divisions, will all also qualify for 2022. So to clarify, again, only one person from this year's Arnold will be going to this year's Olympia. Now, while that might be unfair to some that have not qualified for this year's Mr. Olympia yet, if you look at the overall lineup, the vast majority of these guys are already qualified or probably will qualify for the Olympia. There's only a few that haven't. So I guess you really could look at it from the standpoint that it's unfair for the people that are already qualified for the 2021 Mr. Olympia that are doing the Arnold. If they don't win and they place, why would they want to qualify for the 2021 Olympia again? Their incentive would be to qualify for next year or to get points for next year. So that's kind of the way I'm looking at it. It's unfair for some that haven't qualified for this year. But then for the athletes that are in this lineup that are already qualified for this year, what's the point in really doing it besides the prize money if they're already qualified for this year's Mr. Olympia? So that's kind of my thoughts on it. Either way they decided, somebody would be getting screwed. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below about only one person from this year's Arnold being able to qualify for this year's Mr. Olympia, and that person being the overall winner of men's open bodybuilding at the Arnold Classic. It's a bit weird, and it's not how they typically do it, but that's how they're doing it this year. Now, next up in the news, irregular strength. Julius Maddox, the man, the myth, the 800-pound future bench press world record holder. He already holds it, but he's going to hold it at 800. I should clarify, that is the raw bench press world record. So, he just hit a PR, 750 pounds for a double on the raw bench press. And he even said in that caption, now he's officially ready for the 800. This is something that we've all been waiting to see. It's something we've been talking about for the past pretty much year now. If anybody is going to be able to bench 800 pounds raw, I think the person to do it will be Julius Maddox, and I think we all are just kind of waiting. It's not if, it's when. When are we going to see Julius hit this new all-time world record? Based on the 750 for 2, I think it's going to be pretty soon. I mean, just it seems insane to even say that. Somebody is doing a double with 750 pounds. Not long ago, that would have been the world record for a single. Not long ago at all. Now, next up in the news, Valliere, basically at this point just showing off. 3.5 weeks out from the Tampa Pro for Iain. Got to be the favorite in that lineup. He looks very impressive. He looks like he's in very good shape. And honestly, to me, he looks a lot bigger than he was last time around. A lot drier, but a lot fuller and a lot harder too. I think Iain is going to be one of the guys that surprises a lot of people this season, this time around. I think he's going to be very impressive. So he posted this update of his abs on his Instagram story, but in addition to that, he posted some posts on his actual feed, particularly this one from the side where he's doing some curls. I was like, damn, this guy looks like he looks huge. He definitely looks to have added on some significant size this time around, so I'm really excited to see how he looks on stage, and I think he's really going to bring it this time, and he's going to have to. If a guy like Rolly Winkler jumps in one of those shows, I'm pretty sure he's going to do Chicago. But if he jumps in Tampa, Iain's going to have his hands full. Imagine Rolly does Tampa and Iain is able to fend off Rolly Winkler. I mean, that would be huge for Iain. So that's kind of what we're looking for at the Tampa Pro. See how Iain does. There's going to be other guys in that lineup, of course, but I would like to see, like I said, Iain versus Hunter. If Hunter goes from Chicago to Tampa, potentially Iain versus Rolly. If Rolly ends up doing Tampa for whatever reason, it'd be interesting to see. Now, the final story that I have for you guys today. Wesley Vissers is preparing for the Portugal Pro, a.k.a. the Mr. Big Evolution Show. I don't know who named that show, but they need to rename that show ASAP. The Mr. Big? Come on. But let's just call it the Portugal Pro. So Wesley is competing there tomorrow in Classic Physique. So yes, that show will be on Sunday. And these clips and these pictures that Wesley posted are from 2 days out of that show. Wesley looking very dry and very lean in these updates, looking to get that Olympia qualification at this show. And hopefully we see a much improved version of Wesley competing here in Portugal. And of course, I will keep you guys posted on that. But man, I can't lie. I hate these Sunday shows. Big pro shows need to be done on Saturday nights. I don't understand the Sunday thing. But yeah, Wesley looking locked and loaded, so best of luck to Wesley Vissers. That's going to wrap it up for the video today, guys. I hope you did, in fact, enjoy it. Please give it a thumbs up if you did enjoy it. Please subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed yet already. As always, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Nick Strength and Power signing out.